Happy Wednesday afternoon. This is Deborah Roth from Spirited Living, and I love being here with you on these Wednesday afternoons to really take a deep dive into different aspects of the Divine Feminine. I call it Dancing with Our Divinely Feminine Wisdom because we all have it, as I say probably every time I do these videos. And whether you're male or female, however you identify, and divinely feminine traits, which I really dove into when I did my master's thesis years ago on the divine feminine and feminist spirituality, women's psychology, all that kind of stuff, which was very fun. Ask me about it. That probably the four key traits that we talk about in terms of embodying our divine feminine is honoring our emotions, honoring our intuition, celebrating our bodies, and celebrating and honoring nature in all the ways that we do, and all the ways that we can do. So think about those. And again, you can see that's not gender specific. So what I would love to do today is probably not introduce you, because you've probably heard of this goddess, and she's not one of the biggies. I don't have a statue of her like I have with so many, but it is Hygeia, the Greek goddess Hygeia, and she has a lovely history. Not a whole lot of stories that I could find around her mythology, and the reason that we're bringing her in is that her festival day, the Hygeia Day, apparently was February 26th in 2 days. And she was the Greek goddess, and also Romans honored her as well. I think she's probably one of the ones that they didn't change her name when they conquered the Greeks. And she's a goddess of healing and of disease prevention. There's also a lot associated with her about mental health, not just physical health. And I'll tell you in a minute why that. I just love the serendipities that happen when I do this kind of thing, and I'll explain that in a sec. Z Budapest, who's just a beautiful writer of all things divine feminine and very witchy and wonderful earth-centered spirituality. I haven't seen it anywhere else, frankly, but she's where I learned in her wonderful book, The Grandmother of Time, that February 26th is Hygeia's Day. She also described Hygeia is often being depicted as an African, middle-aged African woman, and again of African descent. I wish I had found more of those images of her in that way. All I found were the Greek version, and what that tells me, there's something out there clearly, because most of the Greek gods and goddesses, particularly the goddesses, because feminine energy was being sublimated, most of them came from someplace else. And there's this wonderful book that I used called Lost Goddesses of Ancient Greece by Charlene Spretnak, who's just a fabulous feminist writer. She explores in that the origins, when she talks about the lost goddesses excuse me, of ancient Greece. She looks at the origins. Like Athena came out of North Africa. She was known as Night there, Nieth, I think. So it's entirely probable that although I couldn't find anything, that Hygeia has those origin stories too. So, but across the board, however we defined her depiction, however we find her, how she's illustrated, how she's represented, it is always as a woman with, and I love the pictures, the drawings, as opposed to, and this is a beautiful one, and you can see she has a snake wrapped around her. This is one of her many statues. She actually had lots of statues in ancient Greece, also with snakes surrounding her. She is always depicted with her python snake wrapped around her. And snakes for millennia, I'm all choky today, I'm not sure why. I think I've been talking a lot, actually. For millennia have been acknowledged and celebrated as being symbols of renewal. They shed their skins regularly. They renew. They become something new, and that symbolism, as much as we have all this kind of scary, all these kind of scary associations with snakes, they're really pretty powerful. If you have not discovered the work of Serpentessa, who's a wonderful friend of mine who was a snake priestess, I actually had a snake massage session with her several years ago that she gifted me on my birthday. And if you've not found her, just Google Serpentessa, just like it sounds like, and you'll get a really clear sense of the power of snakes and the healing power of snakes and all the symbolism that they represent, and what makes Hygeia a perfect goddess for them, I guess. So learn a little bit about that snaky stuff. Now, Hygeia, what we do know about her myth is she is actually one of the daughters of Asclepius, who was the god of medicine. And her mother, and I have to look at some of these, her mother was a peony, Epione, who was the goddess of the soothing of pain, which I thought was lovely. She has several sisters. Panacea, we've heard of that. It's a goddess of universal remedies, means that if something's a panacea, that it cures everything. Iaso, who is the goddess of recuperation. Acesso, I think is how you say it, Aceso, the goddess of the healing process itself. And Aglaea, or Aglae, who's the goddess of beauty and splendor. Hi, Kathy. These were all healing goddesses who were daughters of Asclepius, the god of medicine, and his wife, who was powerful in her own right, apparently, being a goddess that could soothe pain, of a peony. So that's a little bit of giving you some context about that. I mentioned at the beginning, one of the reasons that I am really resonating with this today is that this morning, and I'm going to turn you on to this really wonderful new organization that I've gotten involved with, called Robin. And their work is to reach out to public school districts to provide parents, students, and kids with, it's I never knew this. I don't think they were around when my kids were little. With social emotional learning programs, SEL, social emotional learning. And I'm one of the coaches with Robin who offers these programs to school districts around the country, and they're just getting started. This was a big one this morning, a school district in New Jersey, and I talked about sacred self-centeredness, self-care, with 130 junior high students and 180 senior high students. And there were about 6 other programs going on at the same time. So, and one of the things that the student who was introducing me, and I think they did that on other ones too, is they referred to it a mental health day. So when I realized who I'd already decided to do, to what goddess I'd already invited in, thought, Hygeia, how perfect, for healing and particularly for mental health. Or including mental health anyway. So isn't that cool? If you want to know more about Robin, if you have children of your own, in public school anywhere in the country, Robin has coaches all over the country, and as we grow, we'll send people all over the country too. The website is, I think it's my-robin. If you Google myrobin.com, it'll come up. And they're really quite extraordinary what they're offering people. And so here we are, honoring Hygeia on this day of honoring mental health, physical health, all the ways that we need to take care of ourselves. So what I'd love for you today, to do with you today, is just offer up, there's a very lovely website that I found when I was trying to get more mythology around Hygeia. There weren't a lot of really sweet stories so much, but there was, what was the name of it? Sacred Moon Grove was this beautiful website that I found with a lovely prayer. And I'll use that as just kind of a mini meditation for you today. I do prayers and meditations all the time, but I love finding really beautiful ones and referring people to, to websites and to other people who've done them too. So this is a prayer to Hygeia for helping to maintain your health. So I invite you just to sit for a minute, and I'm going to teach a chant afterwards. I always say I'm not always going to, and then I just can't resist because I love to sing. So just settle in for a minute. Nobody can see you. Take a few deep breaths. Settle into your circle of one, what I call your circle of one, that place of wholeness, that place of perfect health, of perfect mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual health in the core of your being. And take in these words. Hygeia, gracious goddess whose noble heart and healing hands are well known to all, kindly giver of strength and hearty good health to humankind, I pray to you, help me to tend my body and mind with care and constancy. Grant me the discipline to moderate my vices, to modify my habits, to exercise wisdom in my choices of food, of fare, my work, and my rest. May I find my way to wellness and wholeness. May I become one who seeks the good. May I be fit to do the work of my life. Hygeia, who helps those the most who help themselves, Goddess, grant me the resolve to succeed. Isn't that lovely? And I will, if you want that, I'll put that I'll put the link to this prayer in the comments too. And so one of my favorite chants around healing and health and cleansing our bodies so that we can be born anew, so that we can shed our skins like the sacred snakes, and come to a new place of wellness on every level. And this is one of my favorites, and I'm pretty sure I've done it before. Maybe for a Virgo, I don't remember, but I will sing it for you a couple times. Once again, my voice is a little scratchy, but enjoy. And it goes, it's a little jazzy. If I had my tambourine, I'd play it with you. Purify and heal me, oh, heal me and free me. Oh, purify and heal me, oh, heal me and free me. Oh, purify and heal me, oh, heal me and free me. Oh, purify and heal me, oh, heal me and free me. A little goddess jazz, goddess rock and roll, whichever one it is. So carry that with you as you move toward, as we all move forward towards this Hygeia's Day on Friday, February 26th, and really think about, maybe even take a moment after we sign off here, or after you finish the video, if you're watching it later, to think about one of the things we did this morning at these sacred self-centeredness talks were these kids, and they were amazing. Think of the things that you can do to nurture, to nourish yourself, to nourish your mind, body, heart, and spirit. The four-legged stool of self-care, the four-pointed crown, however you want to look at it. And as you do that, just allow yourself to invoke the energy of Hygeia, to help you become your most whole, most healthy, most perfectly vibrant, well self. Thanks for being with me today, and stay tuned. Next week, I don't remember who I'm doing, but same time, same place. Have a beautiful week. Namaste.